Lexa is back. Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine Americ.
Hello.
Welcome to a new The 100 review. This week's episode was called Perverse Instantiation. Part 2. Let's talk about it. It's the finale.
It's
finale
the finale
for real. Let's jump into the City of Light.
City of Light.
Literally.
It was like very Matrix style, like, huh?
Yeah. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill?
In this
I
case.
want both.
Exactly.
So, last week I said, well, I hope it's not Clarke that's going to go and take the flame because it's kind of predictable. And, she did take the flame. It was kind of predictable, but I'll forgive it. Because it was actually well done.
Yes, it was.
And we got Lexa back.
I know.
Which, if there's ever a reason to forgive the 100 for being predictable is when you bring Lexa back, who's
Small
was
victories.
so badass.
It was nice to see them in a city kind of environment, too.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's weird, right? It was
Yeah.
like 100 in a city. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny because I knew Lexa was supposed to come back, but for some reason I thought, oh, maybe it's like a. I didn't think I didn't think like the actress was gonna be there. Like I thought, oh, maybe it's like she represents Lexa or something. But we really got Lexa back, which I was like, ooh, they had such a good moment.
They did, didn't they?
I feel like it was a little bit more of a closure that Clarke didn't get to have with her.
Yeah. I wish I could say that they probably did that for the fans because they knew they were so mad. But probably this was shot way before that.
Probably,
so,
I think so
and
too.
nothing to do with that. So, yeah.
So it was great to see Lexa, but I also was hoping that we'd get to see some other commanders. I mean, we got to see Becca, who was the first commander, but I was like, is there no one else that can come and help? Clarke, can you imagine if all the commanders were there fighting and helping
cool.
Clarke? And of course, Lexa is the one that's like helping her like next to her, but everybody else is protecting her. That would have been like, oh my god. Actually, Raven kind of saved the day in a way.
Oh yeah,
because if it hadn't been for her, she wouldn't have found the way to the kill switch.
For sure.
So,
no, Raven has been instrumental this season.
And I love that she puts the door and then she puts a Raven on it, and you're like, Raven.
I was gonna say it had a very Hunger Games kind of thing.
It did hurt.
Right?
Then we get the final showdown between A.L.I.E, Becca, and Clarke. A little bit of stalling.
I have mixed feelings about this. A little bit of stalling. Come on, that stalling was like.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. If it had been in the middle of the season, I might have agreed with you. But because this was the finale, and they're actually like, she was really telling the truth to Clarke. She wasn't just stalling. She was just saying, well, yeah, but this is why I've been doing this. And they're also setting up the next season. I thought it was okay because it's not like Clarke didn't know, but she just took a moment to be like, oh, great. So now we have to deal with that. I'm still gonna, shut you down, but.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Stalling as a storytelling tactic is okay. Once, maybe twice. But this is literally, I think, the third time in this season that we've had that, right? It's used so much as a way of advancing the storyline that you're like, oh, come on. Actually, at some point, Clarke had said, I will believe you if you stop everyone.
She said if you let everyone decide whether they want to stay, then maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Had A.L.I.E 1 done something similar to that, that would actually have accomplished diffused the whole like stalling tension, but still added tension because you're like, wait, she's giving them quote unquote their lives back and they get to decide, but is it really real? Do you have to make a moment? It would actually have made it
would have been a tougher choice.
A tougher choice, exactly. Instead, they made it easy and they made it like, I don't trust you. Boom.
She trusted her. She trusted that that's what's going to happen. I think the problem is that, but the City of Light is not a good alternative. So
yeah, and the other part, for me, what makes it even worse is that the A.L.I.E 1 flaws really, again, were used as an excuse to, again, advance the storyline. Because, again, Clarke is asking her, look, you knew about the whole nuclear thing happening. You couldn't have mentioned that. You couldn't have just brought it up one time, right? Instead, she's like, last time I said something, I was locked away. So I learned my lesson. No, I don't see the parallel at all. There's no parallel. There's zero
What
parallel.
do you mean there's no parallel? Of course there's a parallel.
You're telling, look, in the first instant, right, when A.L.I.E was locked away and Becca had fled and all that stuff, the world was still the world. There wasn't an imminent danger about to happen. It's not like she was stopping overpopulation.
Well, for her, it was
Overpopulation.
like an imminent danger.
Overpopulation is not akin to nuclear disaster, right?
Yeah, but again, I think you're thinking of A.L.I.E as a rational human being.
I'm not saying
She's an AI, so
I'm saying it's a stupid AI. That's the point I'm going for.
yeah. Isn't that what? Hasn't that been established?
No,
That she's not
it wasn't.
really...
To be honest with you, I think what had been established is that it was hyperlogical and that it had made the wrong decisions. But in this particular case, it had really made the wrong decisions based on incorrect information, right? Because she's making an overpopulation nuclear disaster. Same thing. So I'm not gonna say anything. It's not the same thing. Literally, they're gonna die in 6 months, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna upload your minds in this virtual world."
Yeah, I feel like her goal is to make humans happier, or just to like provide happiness to humans.
I didn't see it.
Now, her telling them why she's doing it doesn't really help with her plan if they're coming to the City of Light.
I also like the part where Becca was asking A.L.I.E to sort of define perverse instantiation, which I didn't know, to be honest. But basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, is the occurrence that happens when a programmer sets up a program, gives it a final goal, but the program, in order to accomplish that final goal, takes steps that the programmer had not anticipated, right? Because as an AI, A.L.I.E had looked at all the possible scenarios and went with the scenario that Becca had not anticipated. So in this particular instance, this was yet again another example of perverse instantiation in which A.L.I.E had a variety of options at her disposal. Instead went with the most stupid one, in my opinion. But basically one that sort of like the programmers couldn't...
Hence the title of the episode. I'm just saying, they acknowledge in the title of the episode that obviously A.L.I.E is not making the right choice. Again, you're wrong.
Actually, I just realized that I'm wrong.
Well, I'm glad you could, take this moment.
We did
to
a review,
realize,
actually get to
realize
this thing,
how wrong you are. This is great. I don't think this has ever happened before.
I can see how it was.
All right. Well, now that we're on the same page about,
A.L.I.E won.
A.L.I.E won.
Yeah. But
the City of Light was paralleled with the events of the tower, which were, also pretty exciting, I think. Like, they had to fight on their side to make sure that Clarke could do what she needed to do. Well, I think the first thing I need to talk about is just the reunion between Clarke and her mom. I mean, they start the episode and I'm already like...
Oh, for sure.
And, I don't know if you noticed, but they didn't say much. But you could, but they said a lot at the same time.
Yeah, it was a good moment.
It was a really good
definitely
moment.
a good moment.
In addition to Clarke and her mom, we got quite a few other reunions also, which are like Murphy, first of all. Who would have thought that, like, Murphy would have such a, Amori, I love you, oh. That's just noises that I feel on the inside.
Okay.
And then we got Abby and Kane, and then we got Monty and Jasper, and then I'm done. We can move on.
God. You're sure? We covered everyone?
Yes.
You're good?
Yes, hugs. Hugs.
Damn. What do you think of Bellamy's realization?
Yeah. Finally, first of all, I think we got the first hint that he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to live with what I did, and obviously it wasn't right. So I'm like, finally, you're actually acknowledging this.
He didn't say it wasn't right. He didn't say that.
Yeah,
though.
but no, he is saying that I have to live with what I did, and he was saying, he did tell Octavia in so many words that, Pike, I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did. Like, by taking revenge or just needing to do things that you shouldn't do. That's what he's saying. So in so many words, he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done what I did.
Fine.
it's still not, I'm still not like, still not 100% there. I think I might need like a few more episodes to like build it back up. But you know, at least I'm like, oh, at least we're like kind of moving towards that.
But let's talk about aka Octavia, who has stepped up.
Yeah. I mean, this whole time I'm like, she can't, you know, I could see what they were trying to do, where they're showing like, oh, Pike, you know, saved your life. Oh, you kind of need him. Oh, you know, he's maybe not such a bad guy. And I'm like, and every time I'm like, no, she still can't forgive him though. She still can't forgive him because he killed Lincoln. Like, there's no way. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care. Like, he killed Lincoln. Like, he shot him in the head. There's no way she can forgive that. There's no way.
No, it's unforgivable.
I'm so glad she didn't.
It had to happen. Like, there was this, Pike was such a detestable character throughout the season that I don't care what he did in the end, he was irredeemable. Literally irredeemable. Yep. And I think that Octavia had to step up to the plate. Now, the reaction that everyone had were like,
I guess we kind of expected that.
You know. So now that we know that the 100 is coming back for a new season, but that new season will begin next year because the show starts mid-season. What is in store, especially with the fact that now we know that they really have a clock ticking, right? It's 6 months. 6 months where all life on Earth is going to be just destroyed.
She said that 96% of Earth would be uninhabitable. So that means there's still 4% where they could live. But I think she did say also that the water would be undrinkable. Yeah. So then there's no point. Maybe they should rebuild Mount Weather or some sort of bunker, or, you know.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about the political ramifications of not having a commander established or anything like that. So there's a lot of problems that they have to deal with. But you know what? That's what we thought of this episode. What do you think of this episode? Are you happy of Lexa's return? What do you feel is going to be next for the crew, knowing that they only have 6 months? Comment below. Let us know.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Lexa is back. Lexa is back.
Should not do it again.
Lexa is back.
Do it again.
Lexa is back.
Stop it. Come on.
Do it again. Do it.
You